you're already talking to some companies for in any way for the 3G kind of a thing, because ultimately the chips will run computing needs for 3G as well, and what 3G brings.
Well, clearly, short answer is yes. We do partner both with telcos and with the communications chips providers to make sure that platforms based on AMD are optimized for, I'll say, a mobile computing experience. So yes.
Anything happening in India on that front?
Not that I want to talk about in specific.
Oh, okay. We'll wait to hear about it when that happens.
Indeed.
So you said about the wireless, about the PC penetration number itself, if you compare India with China, that number is looking hugely different. The gap between India and China is still huge.
Right.
What can the government do, again, because it needs to also address in that markets that we spoke about?
Question, and I'm not savvy enough about the market to be able to put my finger on exactly why the PC penetration rates here are so much lower than China. I don't think it's as simple as pointing differences in GDP per capita, because clearly there's huge populations in this country that can't afford PC. I think part of the answer is likely the availability of broadband, because clearly PCs devices are so much more productive and powerful when they can connect to the internet. Beyond that, it's hard for me to put my finger on it, other than to say, I'm absolutely convinced that at some point the demand for PCs and other internet-connected devices is going to explode in this country, as it has around the world.
I asked you earlier during the conversation about India and how it's doing. You didn't put a number to it. When we probably speak in a year from now, how much would have AMD grown in India? At what rate would you grow? Can you put a number to that?
I think we can double in a year in this market. I really do, because frankly we're underrepresented here in relation to the footprint that we have in other regions around the world. So I think it's possible to think that we could double in a year.
Should Intel sit up and take notice when you're saying this?
I think Intel knows we're here and we're competitive, and I doubt they're going to behave any differently as a result of hearing what I just said.
Okay, globally, just one last question. The battle between Intel and AMD is very well documented. The day when AMD launched the first gigahertz processor and beat Intel to that, they still rue that day when they couldn't do that first ahead of AMD. Now that in these tough times, we've seen the battle get pretty bloody, and the semiconductor industry has also had a very tough time. What will the next 2 years look like with AMD and Intel?
Well, it's funny. We compete against Intel. I try not to frame our strategy in relation to what Intel is doing. Rather, I try to frame our strategy in relation to what our customers and their customers want. What they want is good products. Increasingly, what they want is a good and satisfying experience when they interact with a PC. We structured our company in such a way that we can be profitable, and I intend to keep us profitable. And we'll come out with great products and serve our customers. And finally, we've got a business model here with the creation of Global Foundries and the separation of AMD, the product company, that makes long-term sense for us. We'll continue to compete against Intel. I look forward to the opportunity to compete freely in a market that fosters open competition in a way it hasn't in the past. To me, those are the exciting things about the future.
Thank you so much, Dirk. It's been a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Pleasure.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV Profit.